Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Katina.
And I am Friday Tuck.
And we are your Carolina Rollers. So guys, we are doing some different type of traveling today. We actually been traveling since 5:15 this morning. It is now about 5 o'clock. 5:30. We are in Seattle, Washington. All right, guys. So we are here in Seattle, Washington, and this is our accommodations for the next 2 nights. This is the outside of the Airbnb. Now I'm going to take you guys in the inside. You walk into the front door, of course, you have the living room. Of course, there's Friday Tuck. There's Mr. and Mrs. Leggett. Take you guys on into the kitchen area. Nice window. Dining area here. This is the laundry room. Alrighty. This is looking out the back from the dining room. And we're gonna take you to say hi, guys.
Hi.
This is one of the bedrooms. This is where Steve and I will be sleeping. We've already got our junk in here. So it is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. This is bedroom number 2. Same setup, just a little smaller, but you got a king size bed. Then you have bedroom number 3 with a desk. And then you have the restroom. Yep. So this is our accommodations for the next 2 nights before we head out to cruise.
That's around the corner. This one right.
Exploring, guys.
Oh, all right, that's it, y'all. Oh, your phone there? My earpiece.
This is where we will be having dinner at tonight. This was a recommendation by Fred, one of our camping buddies. Is this like a but there's the view.
Yeah, well, I could bring you some medicine.
Good morning, guys. So this is day 2 in Seattle. We have started our morning. Sorry. And those two people are Sylvia
and Tony.
Got my name.
So that's Sylvia and Tony, Mr. and Mrs. Leggett. But anyway, we have started day 2. We've had breakfast. We're just sitting around the table getting our day plans together. As you see, I have on my bonnet, so we're not ready yet, but we're going to get ready.
I have my beard on.
Oh. And so the plans for today, we're going to try to go to the Space Needle. Where at, Sylvia? Where at?
The Chihuly Gardens and Glass, possibly the Seattle Aquarium, and Pike's Market.
So,
And there's another thing you guys don't know. These are our favorite cousins from Baltimore, Maryland. Be more. Famous crab cakes.
Real crab cakes.
G&M. Real crab cakes.
Real crab
Seattle.
cakes.
You have
Okay.
nothing on Maryland.
Oh no.
The crab cakes. I give you a 3. I give you a
okay,
3.
let's stay on topic,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
So, if y'all watch one of our previous videos when we took a quick trip to Maryland, we went to celebrate Tony's birthday. We surprised him.
Hey,
So this
33.
is, oh, yeah, 33.
33
But anyway,
Okay.
we are starting our day, and y'all stay tuned and keep rolling with us. I'm telling. Hi guys, so welcome back. We started our day, and our first stop is the Space Needle. So we are going to see what that is all about, and we're gonna bring you guys along with us.
See it spinning? Mm-hmm. It's called a mobile gold. Let me see if they got them on Amazon.
I looked, I think they was. I forgot how much it was.
Shit, mobile gold. $298.
It's 6 inch.
My God, you got me sweating by the end of the day.
Sometimes during the summer it's worse.
I'm just not gonna go back upstairs anymore. Oh my gosh. You see that napkin there? That's how the design started.
That ain't
The
original.
doodle.
And that ain't the original napkin.
He was there. One of like the biggest volcanoes in Hawaii or something. Here's where the downtown all the big buildings are. I'm trying to get John to start
Enjoying life, guys. This is what it's all about.
Crab cake. Get a crab cake. What's it?
This is all for the YouTube family.
Hey!
Yes, guys. So we bring y'all along. Views from the Space Needle. Views from the Space Needle with Sylvia. Say hey to our YouTube family.
Hey family.
Alright guys, so your Carolina Rollers are at the Space Needle in Seattle, Washington. And this is our live view. I am actually standing on the revolving glass. I see the mountain back there. A day in Seattle. Can't beat this. We love it. There's my crew.
I guess you have to lay out
It's a video, guys.
Okay.
Oh, now you tell us.
I love my cousins. Oh, sorry about the chewing gum, y'all. I'm so sorry. All right, guys. So our next stop after the Space Needle is the Chihuly Garden and Glass. This is so beautiful, y'all. I love colors. It's just so pretty. You okay? Thank you. I love it. I love it. I love it. So now we're going to go where the glass house, the garden, the theater, and the bar is.
Touch the glass and learn how to work down it. Oh, really? Our only rule is we can pick up every piece but this yellow one. It's part of the chandelier, so we can't pick it up. We gotta be extra careful. You can still touch it though.
All right.
All right, guys. So I don't know how many of you look at The Amazing Race, but that is a show that I like and I look at it faithfully. So on the last season, the last 3 contestants that were competing for the $1 million, they filmed part of it here. This is the part that is in The Amazing Race.
Just different layers.
Guys, we are going to head to the garden. The garden.
Thank you.
After you, go ahead. Thank you, sir. Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Truly.
And I like all of those things.
Chihuly Garden and Glass. Stay on sidewalks. Do not touch artwork or plants.
That's his son.
I ain't talking about that. He always says the same.
I know, I ain't. Yeah, well, you got this.
I can't even tell.
So I'm gonna say they're gonna think it's Tina Steve over there, but that's not there.
That's the airstream. That's the airstream.
See, I thought that was y'all for a minute. I
You
did.
thought that was us over there. The airstream right here.
We're going to see a demonstration.
It's called a
So,
hot shop
here goes.
because it is- This is our furnace that holds about 200 pounds of molten
feel the
glass,
heat
which
back
is
here.
sitting at a resting temperature in there at 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. We like to give back to our community with the stuff we make up here, so that's why it's our community hot shop. And I'll tell you more details about that after the demo. But before we start, we just have some safety rules to go over. We have these ropes up here. We just want you to stay on that side, so you're all good where you are. And if anything were to fall off the stage, just don't touch it. It could be very high. Our lead glass blower or our gaffer is going to be Matt, so let's welcome him to the stage. Matt's going to make some sort of functional vessel like the two we have up here as examples. And I'm Shannon. I'm going to be helping him out and telling you what's going on. So step number one, we have basically a big metal straw that he's got in his hands there. He's going to scoop some glass out of the furnace the same way you take a knife into a jar of honey. You twist it and it wraps around the pipe. This is clear molten glass. It looks orange, but that's because it is molten. It's really hot. He's showing you if he stops rotating the pipe, it's going to start to fall off because gravity is always working. Right now it looks orange, but in a little bit, just a couple minutes, it'll look clear because it'll cool down. It cools down that fast, so we'll be going back and forth between reheating it and working with it a lot. The first thing Matt has to do though is shape the glass kind of like a Q-tip on the end of that pipe so that we can blow a bubble in there. We're professional bubble blowers on the stage. So he's going to shape that up, and once it's the right shape, he'll blow into the mouthpiece that's on the opposite end of the pipe and trap the air inside with his finger. And as that air heats up, air expands when it heats up, so it's going to have to go somewhere. Since it can't go out his finger, it's going to come up and out through the hot glass. Keep your eyes right there. There it is.
Wow.
Did everybody see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's our demo. Thanks. Just kidding. That's the start of the demo. This is what's called a starter bubble. All the blown objects you've seen here today started like this. And the reason we do it like this is because you can only scoop so much glass out of that furnace at a time. So we do it in layers. If we wanted to make something really big, we would repeat this process over and over until we have enough glass. But we just need 2 gathers. That amount of glass could probably make a small cup. You guys that were sitting here before might have seen the one that he just made before this. But we're going to get 2 gathers so we can make something about this size. He's got to let that cool down to about 1,000 degrees, which doesn't sound cold. It's still too hot to touch. But 1,000 degrees is where this molten glass will freeze up. Now it looks more like glass and it sounds more like glass. He can go back in the furnace and get some more whenever he is ready. But when he goes in there and gets some more glass, since that first layer of glass he has on there is cooled down, it'll maintain that bubble shape. If he went in there when it was really hot, it would collapse the bubble. We'd have to start over. But when he comes out, you'll see that bubble is still inside, but there's a thicker amount of glass around it. And it's glowing orange again because it's super hot. But now we can put some color on it. This is still just clear glass. We're gonna use what's called frit today, F-R-I-T. And frit is just chunks of colored glass. We can roll the glass through those little chunks of tiny pieces of glass and they'll stick to the glass on the surface. It'll look kind of like this, but instead of these colors, the mix we have over there is, I think, orange and green and white. So he's rolling the glass through those little pieces of glass and they're sticking to it instantly because of the heat. They might look like little pieces of sand, but they are little tiny pieces of glass. But it looks like he got all the color on here you want to use for this one. He went into that reheating chamber that was over there and it melted the rest of the glass on the surface there. And now it's moving around again. He's using something called a block. I've got a smaller one here. It's like a big wet wooden spoon and it forces the glass back into that nice ideal bubble shape. We want the glass to be even all the way around that bubble so that when we blow it up, it doesn't go out one side or through the bottom. So now that he's got it back in that shape, he's going to start to change the shape of it a little bit to make it specifically the way he needs it to make a vessel or a vase. Locking it up one more time, and then he'll probably make his way over to the marver here, which is that steel top table. The tip of that bubble is going to be the bottom of the piece when we're done with it. So he's going to cool down the bottom, or the tip of the bubble, so that it's a little bit thicker. We want to maintain some of that thickness down there. So cooling it down by rolling it on the metal, and the part that's hotter will blow out more. So he thinned out the sides a little, while also maintaining that thickness on the bottom. And now he's ready to start making whatever shape vessel he wants. Depending on what he does next is going to determine about what shape he's thinking of. If he hangs it down and stretches it, he's going to make something taller, but if he were to hold it up and shrink it down, he'd probably be making something like a bowl or a wide vase. Once you stretch it, you can't really unstretch it, so he can't decide now that he wants to make a bowl because he can't shorten that back up. And I'm going to start helping him. I'm blowing up the glass for him while he's shaping it. This is just a little hand pumping tool we use to blow the glass. He's using a tool there called the jacks, and they make what's called a neckline on the piece. It's kind of like on a bar of chocolate, it has those lines where you can snap it and it breaks in those specific spots. That's what this line is going to be for, because we'll eventually need to break the glass off of that pipe, and we're going to break it on that specific little line that he made. The other tool he used here is called the Seattle Times newspaper. Sorry, I stole it. I needed it. It's just folded up newspaper soaked in water. Gives you a nice little flexible pad to use. And since it's soaked in water, the glass is riding on that layer of steam, so it's not hot in his hand. Eventually it'll get too thin and it will get hot in his hand, but not quite yet. You'll notice the working time with the glass is kind of short. He's only got so much time before it gets too cold and he's got to introduce more heat to change the shape again. So as we blow this up and it gets thinner and thinner, it's going to retain less heat for a shorter amount of time. So as he blows this up bigger, he'll have to move faster and faster, and that's why it's good to have an assistant. This is much more of a team sport than anything else. It's pretty hard to make anything out of glass by yourself unless it's something very small. So we're fixing this piece a little bit, shaping the bottom of it. That part where he has that dry paddle is going to be the bottom of the piece where it sits on the table. And now we want to transfer it to a different pipe so that we can flip it around and work on it from the inside. The way we do that is with something called a punty. This is going to be the punty. It's just a solid pipe with a counterweight on the end. I'm going to get a little bit of glass on the end of it, shape it up kind of like a dome. This is going to be what holds the glass while we work on the other side. So we'll attach this to the bottom of that piece, break it off the other pipe, and we'll catch it on this one. Just this little bit of glass is going to be what's holding it on there. So it's kind of a fragile connection, but it's also a temporary one. When we're finished, we'll have to take it off of this connection. Hopefully not before then, though. it on the center, kind of balancing out the temperatures of this pipe and that one, make sure it's the right temperature. And once he's ready, he's going to put a little bit of water on that neckline that we made. It'll weaken the glass on that spot, and when he taps the pipe in his hand, the glass will break in that spot where it's weakest, and then I'll catch it on this one. There we go.
Wow.
So now we're halfway done. What I'm doing right now is called flash. It's a maintenance heat to make sure none of the glass gets too cold. If at any point any of this glass gets too cold and we try to reintroduce it to the reheating chamber again, it will crack or explode from that temperature shock. The way we learn that is by exploding things on accident. So we've both done that at least 1 million times. Hopefully it doesn't happen during this demo. I don't think it will. But now the next thing we can do, that we've done that transfer successfully and it didn't crack, is work on the top half of it. So now if you wanted to flare out the lip of it, you could. If you wanted to make it really tall and thin, you could try to do that too. But the first thing we want to do with the lip is trim it. And the reason we do that is because when we break it off the other pipe, it is broken glass. So the glass is uneven and it's jagged and it's a little bit thicker than we want. So we're going to trim it in the reheating chamber. But you can see that part now is nice and hot. You can grab the tweezers and the scissors and give it a nice little haircut. The tricky part about this though is that you only have so much time until the glass gets too cold and you can't cut it anymore. So it's probably the most difficult technical move to do when making a vessel, because you're cutting something sideways while it's hot and you only have so much time. So it's a little harder than it looks, and it looks hard. He made it look easy though. But now that it's trimmed, he's going to melt in that cut mark. Since he cut through the glass, now it's sharp up there, and that little cut that fell into the tray is hot and sharp, so we don't want to touch that. But he's doing what's called a fire polish. As the heat melts it, it softens that edge. And when he comes back out, he can open the piece up and give it like a flare or a lip or whatever shape he wants. The way he's going to do that is by using the jacks. Instead of going straight up and down with the blades like that and pinching the glass between it, he can go inside the glass with the blades. Whatever angle he changes them is going to open the lip of the piece as long as it stays hot enough. And I might stand over here using a dry wooden paddle to help him make sure the lip stays flat, or to shield his arm from any radiating heat coming off the glass. This tool is called a soffietta. It's like a little puffer. It is a cone attached to a straw. If you put the cone in the opening, you seal it, you blow through the straw, it puffs up the glass there. So you might have seen when he did that, it gave it like more shoulder shape on the top. He might do that again, or maybe not. I don't know. We're going to find out. But the wax is also flammable, so you might see a little pyrotechnics. That's always fun. Carving in a little neck on the piece, and I'll shield his arm from that heat coming off the glass. No pyrotechnics there. Nice. Is that it? Sweet. There's our beautiful little piece. The colors don't look as vibrant right now as they're going to once the piece is cooled down. It's still about 1,000 degrees. If we were to put this on the table and just let it cool down here, it would crack from cooling down way too fast. So the temperature shock would cause it to break. What we do to prevent that is put it in what's called an annealer, which is this box right here. The annealer has a resting temperature of 950 degrees, which is a good temperature for the glass to sit without changing shape or cracking. Everything we make today goes in there, and at the end of the day, we turn it off and run a program, and it slowly cools the glass down over the course of about 15 hours. So about this time tomorrow, we'll be able to take everything out and see how we did. But now that he's ready to take it off the punty, I gotta find my tools to help him do that. I've got a Kevlar glove and stick. Very high-tech tools. We'll take the piece off the punty the same way we took it off the other pipe. We'll put some water on that connection, and when he taps the pipe, the vibrations will shock the glass in that weakest point, breaking it off there. But when we do that, it'll be a little bit sharp on the bottom, so we'll have to torch that to make sure it's not sharp when you touch it with your hands. So we just have to wait for the right time when it's not too hot and not too cold to take it off the pipe, or the punchy. So some water and a light tap. There it
Wow.
goes. Now we'll just torch that little spot. We also have a little stamp that says CHS for Community Hot Shop. We're going to stamp that on the bottom. He's kind of blocking all your vision, but that's okay. Stamp. Now it's got a little stamp on the bottom. We'll put it in the annealer and then take it out again tomorrow once it cools down. And see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. I'll quickly say we like to give back to the community with what we do up here. So the way we do that is all the pieces we make, including that one, are going to make their way over to the Space Needles gift shop. You can purchase them over there, and 100% of that money goes back into the local arts community. Scholarships and grants and things like that for artists, funding for classes for kids to take art classes, different things like that. A lot of different organizations get a little piece of the pie. So if you're interested in supporting that, you can go to the Space Needles gift shop. If you don't know where that is, look up there. It's right there. But other than that, if you have questions, feel free to come ask us. I know that was a lot all at once, so I'm sure you have questions. Thank you.
And just like that, guys, the demonstration is over.